you know that Hebrew is not just a nationality? How do you know it's both? It's both a nationality and a
This is
language?
semantics. The language of the Hebrews is the language that he spoke. I'll put it
Okay,
that way.
what's the language of the Mexicans? Is it Mexicanese?
The language of the Mexicans is the language that the Mexicans speak.
What is
I'll
that
put it that
language?
way.
What is that language?
They speak Spanish.
Oh, so Mexicans speak Spanish. What's the language of the Hebrew people? What's it called?
The whatever they want to call it. Hebrew, Aramaic.
Hi, amazing viewers. Welcome to Religious Insights. On this episode of this debate with Godlogic, a Muslim came with fire to prove the teaching of Jesus and also to tell us what the Injeel is all about. Let's watch this video to find out how he embarrassed himself.
Avery.
Avery? All right, nice to meet you, Avery. Okay, so I just have a couple questions, actually. I'm not really here to, debate. I'm going to get out of here soon so you can actually, debate with somebody, if that's, the purpose of this live. My first question is, were you born Christian?
No, that's impossible. But if by born Christian, do you mean I was raised in a Christian family and grew up with Christian values, then yes. I became a Christian later on in my life, like in my young years, but nobody can be born a Christian.
Oh, okay. And so, in your opinion, why, or from your impression or under your knowledge, why can nobody be born a Christian?
Because being a Christian is a confession of faith and a belief in your heart that Christ is your Lord and that He died for your sins, and then Christ was risen on the third day. You're not born with that knowledge and belief.
Okay, and then I guess one of my last questions is, what is your refutation to the beliefs that Muslims state that Muhammad was mentioned in the Injeel?
What is my refutation to that?
Yeah, what is your refutation to that?
My only question is where. That's all. Show me.
In the Psalms. In Psalms.
Psalms is not the Injeel.
Okay, well, what do you consider the Injeel?
It's the gospel.
The gospel. Okay, so do Christians, or do you take the book of Psalms as an authentic scripture of your faith?
Of course.
Okay, so I'm not a person of knowledge, but I'm pretty sure that there's a hotly contested debate as to whether Muhammad is mentioned in Psalms or not. Do you know any idea what I'm referring to?
No, there's no verse that I know of that Muslims refer to the Psalms for and say that it's Muhammad. There's the Songs of Solomon that Muslims use.
Okay, so could you explain to me why Muslims think that? Why they think that Muhammad is mentioned in the Songs of Solomon?
Because there's a Hebrew word that they say is similar to the word Muhammad. The word is makmadim, right? I'm
assuming that's Aramaic.
Hamadim. It's Hebrew.
Oh, it's Hebrew. Okay. And so why don't you think that that's Muhammad?
Altogether lovely. It's not Muhammad's name.
Oh, so whose name is it? Well, what name is it?
Not anybody's name. It's a adjective. It's a description.
Oh, okay. I understand. Also, last question before I get out of here. Do you condemn people that burn other people's religious texts or rip them apart? With
no reason? Yeah, I don't think that that's a good thing to do.
Okay.
If they're unprovoked and they're doing that, I don't think it's a good thing. If provoked, then they can't complain when they're
so what's an example of provoking somebody to
mocking, insulting, stuff like that?
Okay, I get what you're saying. Okay, so you don't think David Wood was wrong when he ripped up the Quran?
I think David Wood is just fine.
Okay, all right, sounds good. All right, you have a good one, man.
Yeah, you too. Yo.
Hey, how you doing, man? My name is Solly, or you can say Ibnu. It's really up to you. Your name is Avery, right?
That's right.
All right, I tried my best to listen. I apologize if I said it wrong. All right, so this is be just like the last guy. Not gonna do a debate thing. As you can see, I'm in my car. I'm trying to go into Wawa, get a shake, and then head home. So according to your prompt, it says prove Jesus was Muslim.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll start with the slow way and then make your way to the ending of it. Just a couple questions. Did Jesus pray to one God or multiple gods?
One.
Okay. Did he follow the rule of that God that he prayed to?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what Muslim means?
I have a definition of Muslim, but I'm willing to go with yours.
No, no, no. If you don't mind, it's just clarification. This is not me trying to humiliate or you trying to humiliate me. This is literally just understanding.
Okay.
So, what does Muslim mean from what you know?
All right. So from what I know, in the Quran in chapter 4, verse 65, it says, "And they are not true believers. They have no true faith unless they make you, Muhammad, judge in all their disputes and find no resistance within themselves against your decisions and submit with full submission." So you can't be a Muslim unless you submit to Muhammad.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, Muslim is an Arabic word. Okay. And what Muslim means, mu in Arabic means is someone who belongs to a people or who does something, right? That's what mu means. And then the rest of it, salam, means peace, right? Or the religion of Islam, right? And literally, quite simply put, the people who follow the rules of Islam or the rules of God, right? And if you're saying that is Muslim someone who submits to the rules of one God, that's exactly what Jesus did, right?
He submitted to one God. Are you
That's quite literally what Muslim means.
really?
Kid you not. It's one who submits to one God and follows the rules of one God. No lie. It's
So,
nothing crazier than that. So, with that same logic,
let me ask you
so I
that.
don't know if you.
Let
Oh,
me
go
ask
ahead.
you
Sorry.
that. So if I submitted to one God, right?
Mhm.
Submitted to one God, believed in one God, worshipped one God, but the one God that I believe in and worship is a statue, is an idol. Am I a
Then
Muslim?
that's so. That will be what your definition of God is, right? So God is an everlasting being that was never created, can't die, doesn't age. Okay, so that's what God is.
So
God is something that we can't attain.
I have to have a
Sorry, go ahead.
specific. So I have to have a specific concept of God and submit to that in order to be a Muslim, a true submitter.
Well, of course, if I say I'm drinking water right now, right, and you say, well, I'm drinking water, but when you show me it's Gatorade, then we're both not talking about water,
Exactly.
right?
That's a beautiful example. So
No, no, it's a very simplistic way of putting it. So if
yeah,
we
I
say
agree.
God,
I agree.
then that means God is something that is the absolute ruler, unlike any man, unlike anything that's created. It's God,
Is he a
right?
father?
He's God. We
Gotcha.
can't give God characteristics that we have.
Got it.
Then that's not God,
Okay,
right?
cool.
So,
Gotcha.
so what a Muslim is someone who believes in one God
Mhm.
and follows the rules that that God has said.
Got you.
Simple. So, in terms of your exact prompt,
Mhm.
did Jesus believe in one God and follow the rules of that one God?
Well,
Absolutely.
well, the one God that he said he believed in, he said was his father, and you said that the God is not father, so that would mean that
Look, look, look.
he's not a Muslim.
So, just like the last guy said about different languages and translations, this and this,
Not a
that
language.
is a very long topic and debate that you can
No,
have with
no,
someone far more knowledgeable than me,
brother, it's not. Trust
right?
me. Look, even you.
No, no,
Listen.
no. So,
It's not.
look,
It's not a language thing. He literally called God his father, and you said that to be a Muslim and the correct concept of God is that he's not a father. So I'm like, okay, I'll rock with that. So that means that when the God who Jesus is submitting to is not the God of Islam or the true God, as you say. So he's not a Muslim then.
so when we say the God of Islam, we say God, right? The way that we as Muslims call Islam, we don't call Islam as something that's newly created. We don't call Islam as something that is like from down 600 years ago. What we say Islam is something that was the first. It was the one thing that existed. What did Adam worship? One God, and he followed the rules of that one God. So back in the day, the first man of what was created, that's what he followed, and that what his religion was. There was nothing else to differentiate it. So you can't say, oh, it was Islam, and then this was something else, because there was nothing else. It was one man, and his relationship with his creator was, I know that this is who created me. I'm
Yeah.
going to follow whatever the rules of this created, of this one who created me.
The contention that I would have with that is that is that they didn't have the concept of the creator that you do, that you just described to me, to be a Muslim. We're
Who's they?
talking about Adam, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, the prophets.
Well, why wouldn't they have the concept of who created them when even
I'm telling you,
Abraham has said, I believe in the one who's created me?
Ibn you. This is what I'm saying. The concept of their creator, the concept of the creator, they didn't have the same concept that you just described to me for someone to be a Muslim. So, like, for example, Jesus, for example, when his concept of the creator, his concept of God, is that God is his father. So for God to be his father, you said that that's not God. That's not Allah. So if Jesus is saying that the God he worships is his father, then he's not a Muslim.
Jesus said he worships his God, who is God, that there is no other God, that there is nothing like this God.
He said
There's
his
nothing
father.
that comes, that is nothing that is born from this God.
He
There's
said
nothing
he's
that
born
gave
from him.
birth to this God.
He said he's
The
born
thing,
from him.
so once again, this is why.
He said
Oh,
he's
sorry.
born from, he said he's born from him. He said, I'm born from him. He said that he's like the Father. He said that no one knows the Father except the Son. No one knows the Son except the Father and who he chooses to reveal him. He says that I am in the Father and the Father is in me. He says I and the Father are one. So he literally says, one, that he is the boy, he's born from the Father, and two, he's just like the Father. If you've seen me, you've seen the Father. That's what he says. So
This
he
is real
can't be a
quick.
Muslim
This is
saying
New
these things,
Testament.
right?
So this is why I said from the beginning, this is a different type of conversation other than the prompt that you're asking.
No, it's exactly
Because
what the prompt.
this conversation that we're having is now about proving Old New Testament etymology of words, translations from Aramaic, but actually revealed in Greek. Then
Nobody
the
brought
different
any of that
years
up.
of
No,
all
brother.
that. But no, no,
All
but
we're
no. I'm
talking about.
saying that will be the eventual conversation
Ibn
because
you,
that's the type of thing.
Ibn you. We've discussed the definition of Muslim, correct?
That's the correct direction of Muslim, the one who
So
believes in
now
one God
we
and
already got
follows him.
past that. You don't got to repeat it.
Mhm.
So we know what the definition of Muslim is: believing and submitting to God, and what you mean by that is the one who is not made by hands, who's unlike anything. He doesn't have nothing is born from him. He has no human qualities. He's not a father. That's who the God is that you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now that's phase one. We broke that down. Now phase two is proving that Jesus submitted to that God, submitted to that concept of God.
Well, that concept of God is still the same concept of God. There's never been him coming out and saying, yes, I am from someone who is just like me.
Okay. So can you
When, so
you
once
need to
again, so wait,
you need to
but
demonstrate that Jesus believed in the same concept of God that you just broke down to me. How can you show me that Jesus believed what you believe?
Jesus submitted to the one who created him.
Where do you get that from?
This is Quran. If you're going to use Testament, if you're going to use New Testament to justify your beliefs, I'm going to use Quran. Because why
You
wouldn't I
don't
use
understand
the
what's
book
going
that I
on.
read, right?
I'm using the historical source on the life of Jesus. The Quran is not a source on the life of Jesus.
The Quran mentions Jesus more than it mentions Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
That means nothing to me. It's still not a historical source on the life of Jesus and what he believed.
But neither is the Old Testament.
For example, it is. Let me show you how. What language
Does
what language did
does
Jesus speak?
does Jesus get mentioned in the Old Testament?
He
Forgive me,
does. He
I'm
does.
not a
He
scholar
does.
of the Old or New
That's another
Testament.
subject. Please focus. I need you to focus. What language did Jesus speak?
Was it Hebrew or was it Aramaic?
Both, actually. It was both.
Okay.
So you did good there. Where do you get that from, though?
Where do I get that from? That's the language of the time. What do you mean?
Where do you get that from? Where do you get that that was the language of the time?
Well, I would assume that's the language that was spoken because if he was Hebrew, then they would speak Hebrew.
Yeah, but one, the Quran doesn't tell you that he was Hebrew, and it doesn't tell you the language. Where do you
Well,
get
he
that
was
he was
born
Hebrew and
of the
Aramaic?
people who were Jewish. So real quick, right?
How do you know their language was Hebrew and Aramaic? How do you know that?
So once again, when we go back, everything is all connected. Nothing is new. Okay. So when I said that the same religion of the first man is the same religion that we follow now, it's the same thing. So when it comes to Moses, the same religion. He
All
submitted
right.
to one God.
Let me cut you off. I have to
Wait,
cut
wait,
you off
wait,
because I
wait, wait,
asked you
wait.
something
Because
specific, and you're
yeah,
avoiding
I
what
know.
I asked you.
I'm not avoiding anything. So peep
Okay.
this, right?
No,
So
if you're not avoiding what I asked you, then please deal with it directly. I have no problem listening. You know, I've been letting you speak. As
so
long as you're direct and as long as you're on the subject, you will
trust
speak as
me,
long as you
I'm
want.
not just going around. I'm just
Okay, so
whatever was
then
repeated.
so I
Yeah,
need you on it. How do you
yeah.
know that
So
Jesus spoke Hebrew and Aramaic?
was Moses called a Jew?
My brother, if you're gonna play these games, man, then I'm gonna have to let
This
you
is
go.
not a game.
Okay.
Moses
How do
was
you
called
know
Jewish, right?
that Jesus spoke Hebrew and Aramaic? Answer that directly, please.
Because he's from the same lineage of Moses, and if he saved the children of Israel who were Jewish, then he was from the people of the Jews, right?
Okay,
So would he not be
so you're
Hebrew?
saying that the Jews spoke Hebrew and Aramaic. Is that what you're saying?
Did the Jews not speak Hebrew and Aramaic?
How do you know that?
That's what we're taught as Muslims.
What? Who taught you? Where are you getting that from? Where are they
Quran,
telling you?
Hadith,
Okay, good.
Sunnah,
I pause.
Sierra.
There it is. Where in the Quran or where in the Hadith? You can use either. Where does it tell you that Jesus or that Jesus spoke Hebrew and Aramaic, or that the Jews in the time of Jesus spoke Hebrew or Aramaic?
That's an interesting question because how you're saying it is like, oh, if someone's born in the United States, did they speak English?
Yeah, there's a lot of people in the U.S.
So
that
if
don't
you're
speak
born
English.
amongst the Hebrews, wouldn't you speak Hebrew?
No,
And if you were a prophet or
there's
messenger,
a lot of my brother. There's a lot of people in the U.S. that still don't speak English here in the U.S.
if there was only one
So please
language
answer
in
the
an
question.
area, if you're from that area, you will speak the language of that area.
Again,
What are you talking
I
about?
just gave you an evidence that there's literal people living in the U.S. today that don't speak English, bro. They don't do it.
That were born from Americans and was raised
They're
in
born in
America.
America and they speak their native tongue, the tongue that
I
their parents.
said that were born in America from Americans. Was I'm not understanding. If you're
Okay,
born amongst a people, you're going to speak the language of that people. If they
how do you
were
know what the
Hebrews,
language
then
of the
they would
people
speak
is,
Hebrew.
Divinu? How do you know the language of the Jews?
If they were Hebrew, they would speak Hebrew.
How do
Yes or
you know
no?
that Hebrew was a language? How do you know that
We
Hebrew is not a
came from
people?
those people.
Wait, stop.
What do
Time
you
out.
mean?
Time out. How do you know that Hebrew is not just a nationality? How do you know it's both a nationality and a
This is
language?
semantics. The language of the Hebrews is the language that he spoke. I'll put it that
Okay,
way.
what's the language of the Mexicans? Is it Mexicanese?
The language of the Mexicans is the language that the Mexicans speak.
What is
I'll
that
put it that
language?
way.
What is that language?
They speak Spanish.
Oh, so Mexicans speak Spanish. What's the language of the Hebrew people? What's it called?
The whatever they want to call it. Hebrew, Aramaic, whatever.
Hey, thanks for coming, man.
Hey, I appreciate
My goodness. Whew. Man. Absolutely amazing. You guys never cease to amaze me, man. I tell you that. I tell you that right now. Y'all never cease to amaze me. This topic always does well, man. Proving Jesus is a Muslim. We got almost 1,000 people in here. This topic always does well. What's up, guys? Why aren't y'all loading up? You guys are requesting but not loading up. What's going on?
Yo, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Yeah, now, can I ask you one question?
You sound a little muffled, bro.
Can I ask you one question, please?
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
You
Do
sound a
hear me?
little. You sound muffled. Your audio sounds distorted.
Okay, I'm gonna put something else. Hold on.
Are you a Muslim?
Yeah, I'm Muslim.
Hello?
There
You
we
hear
go.
me now?
It's better.
Yeah. Yeah, good. Okay. You're asking me question. Are you Muslim, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Muslim, right?
Awesome.
So you want me to prove it Jesus was Muslim, right? That's what you're searching for, right? Okay, cool. You know Nabiyuna Ibrahim? Prophet Ibrahim?
Prophet who?
Prophet Ibrahim.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever Ibrahim brought from where he come from, Iraq to Palestine now in Israel or area Middle East, Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, he closed it. So I'm asking you one question. Who Allah give it to Ten Commandments? Who was the prophet take the Ten Commandments from God? Do you know that?
Moses.
Moses, right? Moses, right? You agree with me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Do you find the Ten Commandments in the Bible? Yes
Yeah.
or no? Okay. So me, I believe whatever like Moses was Allah give him to Torah. Then Jesus, when he came in, he conclude for Torah to make a correction for the Jew because they mislead the Torah. Jesus was correction, alayhi salatu wasalam. He was a correction. And he was the miracle guy because what happened is Jesus was make alive for human being already dead long time ago.
That's true. So how
And
is
he
how is he a Muslim?
listen.
Philemon.
Understand me first,
How is he a
please.
Muslim?
Can you understand me first?
Philemon, I already understood you. So now how is he a Muslim?
Let me tell you something. Whatever Ibrahim doing, same thing Muhammad doing. Are you Christian? Are
I'm
you
in
Protestant?
I'm,
Did you
I'm an original Quran only
I'm
Christian.
telling you one question. Did you put your forehead into the Jesus? Even if you pray with Jesus, did you do that?
I choose me. I choose me.
Yes, brother.
AZ, what's up?
What is up, bro?
Nothing much, nothing much. God bless you.
Okay, what was that? What were you just saying to that guy?
I was just asking him to prove Jesus was a Muslim, bro.
Okay. So what didn't you understand that I explained to you?
He didn't explain anything.
No, but okay. What was he trying to get to?
I tried to ask.
Okay. And which point did you not understand? Okay. You still there? Excuse me. Someone said it's frozen. Is it frozen? Okay, it's just paused it live. Probably be back in a second. Maybe it's a little glitch or something. We'll wait for him. Okay, apparently it's laggy. Brother, your live is laggy. Unless you just pause yourself. Yeah, we'll wait for him. Okay. Somebody just said, okay. No. He's paused. Someone just said he's legged it. Maybe he's having a little break. Brother, you need to hurry up and come back. Because clearly you did not understand Mary Boy's point.
Sorry about that, man. My phone died.
Okay, no worries. Or was your battery low?
Yeah, it just died. It just died. I'm on the charger.
Okay, you're back now. Okay.
All right, so can you prove that Jesus is a Muslim, bro?
Yes, I can. Because if you look at back in history, back in Jerusalem, before everyone went to the mosque there, that is referred to as Dome of the Rock, or it wasn't just the Prophet Jesus, Isa, it was other prophets. There's Abraham, there was maybe Prophet David there as well, and the Prophet Muhammad. When they all used to prostrate in that mosque at the time, that was where all these guys used to pray. And believe it or not, even Jesus, when he'd pray, he wouldn't pray in any other way, shape or form. He would prostrate and bow his head down, just like all the other prophets, just like Moses, just like Abraham, just like Ismail.
Do you have a reference where Jesus puts his head forward to the ground?
Of course, that is how they prayed. And when Jesus did that, not only did he meet the Prophet Muhammad, they met other prophets all in that one night.
Slow down. Slow down. I'm asking you, where does Jesus put his head to the ground and pray? Where do you find him doing that?
Well, just like the rest of all of these prophets, because at the time when they met in that one night, they all prayed together. They prayed together and prostrated in Jerusalem.
Do you have a verse?
They were all united there.
You have a chapter.
There was Muhammad. There was Prophet Isa, Jesus. All of them met in one night.
Okay, so it looks like we got a robot on the stage, guys.
Sorry, come again.
What's going on? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I need you to slow down and listen. Do you have a verse that tells you that Jesus put his forehead to the ground when he prayed?
Okay. 1 second. So if you look at the positions of praying, you prostrate in that direction. So before it was Mecca or Medina, yeah? So before people prayed in that direction,
Hey, Z, are you okay?
the history. Oh, of course I am. I'm just about to get to the very most important point.
Okay,
back then, it was in that one location where they used to bow down.
What is the verse?
Why does everything have to be with a verse?
Because you can't just talk and say stuff without a source.
Okay, this is where it gets interesting. You know, back then, yeah, before all these verses and stuff came in, if you look at history, they had different methods of having
Do you have a verse or not, bro?
verses came down.
Do you have a verse or not? Do you have a verse or not?
Back then, they would orally do these verses.
Do you
before
have
it got
a
in text
verse
form,
or not?
and before it came down in
Do
books,
you
it
have
was
a
back
verse
then.
or not?
Okay, you give me a verse then.
Get out of here. Thanks for coming. Muslims, ladies and gentlemen. Muslims.
Hey, brother, Godlogic, how are you, man? God bless you, man.
What's up, man? God bless you. A Christian?
I'm ex-Muslim, so I really appreciate what you're doing out here. I don't have anything to say, but I just come to say hi and to say, God bless you. What you're doing here is really good. Recently I had my brain back. I left it. So I don't think there's any verse or anything from the Sunnah that can prove any such a thing. And Muhammad is not prophet anyway.
We know that, brother. I'm trying to prove that to now the ones who don't have their brain yet. They still don't have their brain. So I'm trying to bring them up so that we can help them get their brains back.
I hear you, man. God bless you, brother. I just come to say hi, actually.
God bless, brother. Take care of yourself.
Alright, welcome back, guys. I believe you enjoyed watching this video. Let us know your views in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so. He claimed that he was not here to debate, but from all indication he was here to debate because he was not ready to learn. He was ready to dish his own opinion about what the Injeel was all about. If you are not here to debate, then why are you here at all? All these tricks to make people believe that you are a honest person doesn't work with everybody. You are just someone with a lying lips who is not ready to learn the truth. It is laughable to hear so many Muslims saying that the word Islam means to submit to Allah. We all know how this word came about. If you go to Islamic history, you will find out that the word Islam was invented at the time when the Prophet and his companion normally go to jihad, where they normally go to their holy war. And when they attack and capture a town, they unalive those that refuse to submit to their Allah, and then those that accept Allah and become a Muslim and submit to Allah, they will leave them alive. So the word was invented at that time, and it means to forcefully submit to Allah. It doesn't mean that it is a peaceful submit. It was as a result of either death or alive. So you have to choose between one. That was how the word came about. So it was a forceful submission and not a willful one, as claimed by most Muslims in this 21st century. The truth is that it is difficult debating a Muslim who came with a script. He already have his line of thought, his line of argument in his head already. So there is nothing you can do to convince him that whatever you're saying now is the truth. You can never convince him because he already have his own line of argument in his head through his dawah script. So there is nothing you can do. No matter the level of truth you reveal to him, he will not believe you. So you can see that the second guy was just trying to stick to his dawah script. He was not even ready to learn. The Quran mentioning the name of Jesus more than that of Muhammad is not enough evidence to prove that the Quran is a major source of historical facts about the biography of Jesus. In fact, what Muslims knows about Jesus today and 99.99% got him from the Bible. The remaining one are nothing but misconception about who Jesus actually is in the Quran. So whatever they have in their Quran is something that they outsourced from the Bible, and the remaining one which Muhammad blindly wrote there just mere assumption of what he thought that Jesus could do, not that he heard it from any of the apostles who are the reliable source of Jesus's information, because the apostles were the people that eat, slept, and moved in the same space as Jesus when Jesus was on earth. And Muhammad, who came 600 years later, is now trying to convince us to believe otherwise against the people who were with Jesus at the time. Guys, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to share it with your friends, your family. Subscribe to this channel if you have not done so. Thank you for watching. We would love to see you in our next video.